My close friend Emma recently made a video talking about how she used to believe in the ideologies of feminism, but she only recently came to identify with the term. It's not that uncommon to hear people say that they would prefer to call themselves egalitarian than associate with the man-hating, feminazi connotations of feminism. Hannah Witten recently made a video on feminism where she said that the issue of what people call themselves isn't one that she likes to focus on, in a kind of pick your battles mentality. Over recent months, I have been leaning to the same mentality myself, but I do think that feminism is still an integral part of the movement. As an English literature student, I may be biased because I have an interest in the power and effect of words, but there is no denying that words are important. They are how we communicate ideas, argue our case, and therefore incite change. The definition of feminism is the advocacy of equality of the sexes and the establishment of the political, social, and economic rights of the female sex. If, therefore, someone is pro-equalitist, which is the vast majority of people these days, then they are, by definition, a feminist. So, why do people reject the word? I think for many it is the presentation of the word, the root fem implying female and therefore a preference for women's rights, whereas most people want to show that they are an advocate for all equal rights. But the main crux of the term is the advocacy of the equality of the sexes, the fight for equality with particular adherence to the inconsistencies between different sexes and gender characteristics. Since everyone is somewhere on the gender spectrum, this means that everyone is included in this term, especially in recent developments of intersectional feminism. Egalitarian, for context, asserts the equality of mankind. You could say, therefore, that there is little difference between the terms and it doesn't matter what people call themselves. But here's the thing, I'm no Saussure. Words are not in a bubble associated only with their dictionary definitions. They have context and history and connotations. The first written evidence of the word feminism, according to the OED, is 1841 and first included in a dictionary in 1895. If you search the word feminism in the dictionary on Google, you'll be cross-referenced to suffragettes and the women's movement. Historians disagree when feminism can be said to begin, but Hodgson Wright argues that feminist history can be traced as far back as 1550, when women first started to try to undermine the male-orientated Christian doctrine. When I came to do research for this video, I got these books out of the library, but there were hundreds to choose from. There are feminist perspectives in every area of study and political discourse. The word is entrenched in history, laced with the power of the game-changing women that came before. To deny this word is to deny access to a powerful social movement. Egalitarian just doesn't compare. Even if you do strip back to just the word itself, Dale Spender argues the very existence of feminist meanings undermines the existence of a monodimensional reality, i.e. the reality of men being the norm. Spender's book reveals the male-orientated language that we have, from calling God he to the fact that old woman can be used as an insult to a man, but if you called a woman old man, it just means that there's a misidentification. In literature, the vast majority of the respected canonical authors are male, from Chaucer to Shakespeare to Wordsworth to Rushdie. The language we speak is inherently misogynistic. So to define ourselves as feminist is to define ourselves against this male dominance. That said, the word feminism is not without its difficulties. Major victories in the women's rights movement, for example in 1928 when women won the vote in Britain, often see a decline in feminism afterwards. People consider the battle to be won, and in the 1980s the term post-feminism appeared. As I mentioned earlier, in recent years with the rise of internet trolls, a feminist has become synonymous with a man-hating lesbian. Some people see a life of feminism as a life of such independence that it will only lead to loneliness. Some worry that the anything-goes approach to the definition of the word has rendered it practically meaningless. Words do not behave according to their dictionary definitions, and therefore these connotations cannot be ignored. To combat these issues, there have been efforts from the third-wave feminists to rebrand feminism, making it more sexy and stylish for the straight, feminine consumer. This in itself has divided feminists, with some seeing it as empowering and others seeing it as subverting the movement and reducing its revolutionary power. In my opinion, however we go about presenting the movement of feminism, we must not reject the word itself. The word has great diversity and can mean a variety of things to different people, but the fact is, feminism does not mean man-hating. Feminism wants equality, and that is universal. To claim to be an anti-feminist because you are someone who advocates equality is a contradiction in terms. So I call myself a feminist, to honour the women who went before me and for empowerment, and because I want to see gender recognised as a spectrum so that anyone of any sex or of any gender can act and live as they please. People may say I am a feminist because I am selfish. I am, after all, a cis woman. It is true that personal frustration at a result of being a woman is an element of why I define myself as such, but it is not my main reason. I am a feminist for my 3 female friends who were raped before the age of 20. I am a feminist for the women of the UK, who are represented by a government where only 29% of the MPs are women. I am a feminist for the 15 million girls a year who are forced into marriage before the age of 18. I am a feminist for the trans women who continue to not get the respect they deserve. I am a feminist for the 4,861 men who committed suicide in the UK last year. And I am a feminist for me. I am a feminist because my dad told me at 12 years old that I should not show my intelligence if I wanted to get a boyfriend. I am a feminist because I can't walk down the street without a man looking at me like I am a piece of steak on his plate. I am a feminist because if I am a virgin, I'm frigid, and if I have sex, I'm a whore. I am a feminist because institutional sexism still exists across the world. Feminism is right. Feminism is strong, and I am proud to be associated with it.